They vowed that this day would never arrive. They vowed to keep the receipts hidden. However, the quiet is broken tonight. The walls are disintegrating. Not even Chrissy, her so-called husband, or the streets were ready to hear the kind of bombshell that Jim Jones has dropped. Uncut video, audio that is as sharp as a knife, and leaked receipts, and the sinister secret at the heart of all. Nothing this industry has seen in years is as ugly, heavy, and damning. This is more than simply rumors. This goes beyond simply a drama. A brand, a fraternity, and a family that was meant to live forever are all being torn apart by this betrayal, which was captured in 4000 and revealed so thoroughly. This was not anything Jim hinted at in a mysterious post or whispered in a quiet room. He captured it on film so that everyone could see it. Furthermore, it is not even approached by the fallout explosion. Receipts reveal hidden meetings and financial traces. This scandal involves names that fans never imagined hearing. Furthermore, there is no denying the way Jim drops it with his trademark venom. Caught, cornered, and trapped is Chrissy's man. Embarrassed in front of others. However, the question that is currently consuming all timelines is this one. Why at this time? Why did Jim spend so much time keeping these secrets? And why has he decided to ruin everything now? Stay put because of what you're going to hear. Next will fundamentally alter the industry. For this, the internet was unprepared. A leaked clip that went viral was what woke fans awake. Jim Jones can be seen walking like a man possessed, his voice quivering with anger, and he is seen waving documents in his palm in a grainy backstage video. First, nobody was aware of the situation. There was only Jim yelling at someone off camera in the video, with no background information or commentary. But in a matter of minutes, captions appeared. He is discussing Chrissy's spouse. There are receipts on it. This is not only meat, it's exposure. Everything changed at that point. There was no music-related tirade from Jim Jones. He wasn't referring to past Dipset turmoil. He had contracts, bank transactions, paperwork, screenshots, and he was dragging in front of the world. Chrissy's man is like a criminal on trial. His comments had the force of a gunshot. He believed that no one was aware. He believed that it could be concealed. No, it's done. The shockwaves came right away. As a result of the video, hundreds of thousands of views over the course of hours, with enthusiasts analyzing every second and slowing down the audio to improve the paper trail. What they witnessed as Jim waved at the camera was more sinister than they had anticipated. Chrissy's spouse wasn't simply caught slipping, Jim claims. According to rumors, he was involved in dubious transactions, backroom payments, and relationships with individuals that have been mentioned in whispers. The tones? Jim highlighted names that no one in the industry ever imagined would be mentioned for years. Executives, artists, promoters, and the receipts. They were not only nebulous charges, dates, amounts, and lines of speech transcription were all specific. For cute fans gasped when they saw a particular screenshot of a message exchange between a promoter and Chrissy's boyfriend about keeping Jim in the dark. This went beyond love and betrayal. It was sabotage of the company. In the leaked tape, Jim himself said that, "You believed I would never find out when you attempted to mess with my pockets." In the dark, however, everything becomes visible. Anger burst in his voice. Not only due to financial gain, but also because trust was betrayed. To Jim it has nothing to do with contracts. This had to do with family. He yelled, "You crossed the queue when you crossed me," which made all of the fans who saw shiver. Social media exploded right away. The screenshots of the receipts went viral on Twitter. The makers of TikTok created videos that broke down the timeline. Clips with captions like "Jim finally had enough" were shared by Instagram sites, and Chrissy was caught in the mess. Everywhere, the question is buzzing. Why did Chrissy remain silent if she knew? Was she defending her partner while was he piercing Jim's back? Or, like everyone else, was she taken by surprise? More people whispered that this was not an angry outburst. Details of the night started to surface from insiders. Everything came to a boil. An unnamed crew member claimed that the altercation began after a performance when Jim found out about a transaction he had been hoping for. A significant endorsement deal with a high-end brand had inexplicably fallen through. Jim believed it was unlucky until a package was put into his bag by someone backstage. Documents in photocopy form that connect Chrissy's spouse to the same brand, threatening to push Jim out in return for backdoor deals. The last straw was that, with the cameras unintentionally still rolling, Jim barged into the dressing room, which is how the leaked video came to be. His expression was one of utter betrayal. An individual who recognized he had been the victim of years of plotting by someone he believed to be kin. After the video was posted online, viewers made the connection. In previous interviews, Jim appeared resentful. Previous cryptic tweets and subtly disparaging remarks made by Dipset members. It all became obvious at once. However, this is when the narrative becomes more sinister. Jim had more than one deal on the receipts he held. His tirade claimed that they were a part of a trend. made repeated attempts to deny him chances, money, and employment. Additionally, prospects, work, credibility, and Chrissy's man, who is in charge of everything, trying to remove me at the same time. Jim yelled, "You've been eating off my name." You could hear the anger in his voice. It was unbelievable. To the fans, was this a case of envy? Was Jim being dramatic? Could it be that Chrissy's hubby had been secretly planning for years? Timeliness was shredded in the dispute. Some stood up for Jim, arguing that he had every right to reveal the truth at last. Others questioned his decision to wait until now to drop all of it. If Jim had these receipts all along, what else is he hiding? One fan wrote on camera. Another retorted, he protected Chrissy for too long, but loyalty only goes so far. Then came the unexpected leaks. Hours after the video went viral, Jim's statements were supported by audio recordings that were made public by unidentified sources. In another, a voice that uncannily resembled Chrissy's husband was heard giggling with another man about not telling Jim anything. The sound of the audio was rough and distorted, but it was clearly arrogant. It was repeatedly played by fans, who compared it to previous interviews of Chrissy's man. Swearing fit the voice. "It's him. All right, there's no doubting it." A single comment went viral. Chrissy remained silent in the meanwhile. She didn't upload anything. She said nothing. Her man was not defended by her. That quiet was a powerful statement. It was seen by fans as damage control, shock, and guilt. She was, however, reportedly crying behind the scenes, torn between the man she loved and the man who had supported her for years. It was not only Jim who was betrayed, it was also her. Also, additionally, Spice, who had been close to both, apparently texted someone after watching the video, saying, "This is too much. I can't believe what I just heard." Jim also threatened to disclose additional tape, which further heightened the situation. "If you all believe that this is awful," he growled while on camera, "hold off till you see the following one. The entire city will view him differently because to the files I have." On social media, that one sentence triggered shockwaves. Did Jim have any more receipts in his stash? How profound was the betrayal? It was evident that the industry was terrified. Many well-known people were frantically phoning because they were afraid their names would be in those files. According to rumors, there was more to this than Chrissy's hubby. Bloggers hinted this was about a web of dubious transactions that may cause trouble for half the city. Additionally, Jim, "I was finally ready to burn it all down because I was sick of stillness." The suspenseful ending left everyone on edge. Is Jim going to make the next set of receipts available? Or was this merely a warning? And in the aftermath, who else would be exposed if he did? Not only did the news go viral on the internet, it became viral. Even political issues were overshadowed by trendy hashtags like #GMXexposes and #Caught-up-by-Dawn. All blogs, all gossip sites, the free hip-hop commentary site was analyzing Jim's leaked receipts as if they were case files from the FBI. People circled numbers on the contracts and slowed down the video. Jim flashed, and even had voice specialists examine the audio recording that purportedly showed Chrissy's husband boasting about not telling Jim anything. Everyone agreed that something didn't smell right. Chrissy's quiet wasn't good enough for the streets or both. Her fan base flooded in Instagram with comments that call for clarification. "What's keeping you silent? Make a statement. Chrissy, this isn't accurate. Clap it back." But rather than standing up for her husband, she didn't post anything. No selfie, no narrative, no statement, just silence. Silence speaks louder than words in the world of rappers and reality TV stars. Jim wasn't finished yet. He lived a few hours after the initial video was made public. He was deadlier, yet calmer this time, holding up his phone as if was a weapon, stated Jim. Then the greatest twist yet appeared. Text messages that were leaked appeared online, between a well-known promoter and Chrissy's husband. Allegedly, it appeared to be a devastating conversation. Money splittings, dubious payouts, and recurring remarks about excluding Jim. Fans were enraged by one statement in particular. "We have custody of the bag once he is gone." Actually, all of the fans' preconceived notions about Chrissy's marriage might be destroyed by that one message. But the kicker is this: the screenshots just showed cropped bubbles that may have originated anywhere. There were no time stops or contact names shown. The internet, however, was unconcerned. It was a set story. It was Chrissy's man's fault. Twitter Spaces appeared immediately, with thousands of debate among listeners on what was real. Some claimed that Jim was finally revealing a snake that had been surviving on his brilliance. Some contended that this was all a ruse to attract attention during a period of low career success. A startling voice suddenly joined the conversation. "Yandy's man, Mendez." He added something. "Y'all don't know the half of it. This been going on for years. Jim ain't lying." That one statement completely overtook the internet during a live conversation. A member of Jim and Chrissy's social circle attested to it. The smoke might actually be fire. It was a vicious cascade. Within a day, memes were all over, as the con artist's spouse, Krause's husband, was being made fun of. old videos of him bragging about business actions that were later misrepresented as proof of dubious activities have surfaced. Larger A-list celebrities started to adding up. 50 Cent is someone who never wants to pass up a chance. Posted a screen grab of Jim's tirade with the words, "Damn it. Always be your own people. LOL. Cardi B liked a post that made fun of Chrissy's husband, leading to speculation that she also thought the receipts as well as Spice. Loyalty no longer exists. She said live, shaking her head and stating, "This is why I don't trust anybody in this industry." Then, in the most startling move of all, Cameron, Jim's longtime brother, who is now his competition, said something cryptic. "Just one receipts, don't lie. Y'all better start telling the truth before more leaks come out." Post's statement completely broke the story open. Jim was a co-signing for Cam. Perhaps this controversy was more serious than fans had thought. Did Cam mean to imply that he had receipts as well? Did Chrissy's spouse have a hand in a larger plot against Jim? The rumors became so intense that bloggers began referring to it as the receipt war. Next followed the phone call that was disclosed. The tape, which was posted by a gossip website, showed a man who was purportedly Chrissy's husband pleading with someone not to drop the files. He spoke in a desperate tone. "You don't comprehend. I'm done if this is released. I lost all I created." It was immediately associated by the internet with Jim's threat of revealing the main course. Did Jim have an worst secret of all? A damaging event that Chrissy's husband feared would come to light. Chrissy was at a point where she could no longer be silent. When she finally shared a dark screen image on Instagram, she wrote, "Don't believe everything you see." Lies spread more quickly than truth. But the harm had already done. Her tweet was deemed weak by fans, who also accused her of sheltering her man and demanded to see her side of the tale. She was even unfollowed by some who said they no longer respected her. The retaliation came quickly and brutally. However, behind the scenes, insiders said Chrissy was losing it, screaming at her husband for entangling her in a scandal that made her appear foolish on national blogs. She apparently addressed him in private. An insider shared a passage from their debate. "I was humiliated by you, as you permit him to ruin what we've constructed, and for what purpose? Even a bag you didn't keep." Chrissy was portrayed in the rumor as being angry, ashamed, and possibly even prepared to leave. Jim, meanwhile, doubled down. He taunted fans on another Instagram Live by saying, "You guys think he's dirty. Wait, this man isn't just tampering with money, he's tampering with lives." The inference was terrifying. Was Jim implying that Chrissy's husband was engaged in criminal activity, something more sinister than financial betrayal? Burst with suspicions about drugs, fraud, and even links to dangerous people. No one knew for sure, but everyone was desperate for answers. And the last straw was when an enigmatic account released what they termed the second folder, which contained fragmentary bank records and blurry photos of documents, transfers, as well as one startling picture showing Chrissy's husband sitting with an executive in a restaurant. Jim had openly accused Chrissy of blackballing him years prior, so it was obvious that Chrissy's husband wasn't just playing both sides. The internet, astonished, argued over the fact that he was apparently working with Jim's adversaries all along. However, one thing was certain: the receipts were growing darker by the hour. Finally, Jim made his last remark the evening. On camera, "If you guys think this is over, you haven't seen anything yet," he continued, staring straight into the lens and speaking in a low, icy tone. "The truth will come out tomorrow, and careers will end when it does. Reputations will burn, families will fragment." The cliffhanger was, believe me, nuclear. What did Jim dump next? In order to defend herself, would Chrissy ultimately leave her man? Furthermore, how profound was this betrayal? Jim's terrifying threat caused the internet to wake up like it had been struck by an earthquake the morning after. With the arrival of the second drop, notifications spread like wildfire. Not only was it disorganized, it was catastrophic. A clip was uploaded by Jim Jones to his webpage, just long enough to stop the world, yet not ostentatious. It captured Chrissy's husband on camera, conversing with two men in a poorly lit rear room. Their faces were hazy. He had an identifiable voice, and the words he was saying were poison. Jim doesn't receive that offer, so we're good. Keep him confined. He doesn't have to continue to eat from this metropolis. That single line was explosive, like a bomb. Fans pondered for years why Jim was never considered for endorsements, TV opportunities, and major shows that others in his space were receiving. The entire story changed with only one video. Did Jim be blackballed because of Chrissy's husband? Big money moves, pretending to be family. Was he undermining Jim's career? Twitter went completely crazy. As one user put it, "Yo, this man was holding Jim back the whole time. Worse than betrayal, that's sabotage." Another user added,